called The Wiz, 1978, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. Awesome remake of The Wizard of Oz. And Michael Jackson is the Scarecrow. And during the scene where the crows are surrounding him, he begins to sing this song. It's called You Can't Win. You can't win. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are going to get better, but it looks just like they're staying the same. You get in way over your head, but you've only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game. I think of that song a lot when I'm at court, as I watch people go to and from the tables where people sit, petitioner and respondent. Those are the tables in front of the judge. And I think about that song a lot, because it's just so true. Because I think this is what people think. I think people are wronged, and they are upset, and something must be done. Justice must be served to address this grievance that they have. And so they file papers in court. A lot of times in family court, it's called request for order. Whatever they're going to file, maybe they're starting a case because they've been wronged. And so everyone needs to know that. And the judge needs to tell the other person that you have screwed up this other person's life. You are a horrible human being, and therefore I sentence you to, no custody, or I sentence you to paying $3 million in child support or spousal support, or whatever it is that you're asking for. Usually the requests that I hear initially that come off the top of people's heads are based off of how wrong they feel they are. And if that is your expectation, and that is the basis of why you're going to court, you can't win. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game. Because that's not the law, and that's not how judges determine cases. And so a lot of times people are going into court with this huge chip on their shoulder because of the wrong that's been done to them. And they're probably a little surprised at the way the judge might rule, because the judge is actually looking at the law and looking at what is, if it's a child custody case, what's the best interest of the child. Master for support, particularly child support, temporary spousal support, it's just a numbers game. You type in numbers into this computer and stuff spits out. It doesn't even matter how you feel. It doesn't. It's just numbers. And so those numbers may surprise you. They may make you happy. They may make you like, what is going on here? So a wise man once said, before you are dragged into court, make friends with the person who has accused you of doing wrong. If you don't, you'll be handed over to the judge and then to the officer who will put you in jail. I promise you that you will not get out until you have paid the last cent you owe, with interest, okay, which starts accumulating from the date that the motion's filed. So if I was to be on a soapbox, which I am, I'm stepping on a soapbox by doing this video, it would just be to have people think twice about why you're going to court. Is it really in the best interest of your child? I get these questions, what are my rights? How do I get full custody? How do I get 50-50? What does that mean to you? What does that mean? Do you really get 100% of your child? Do they really stop loving the other parent or stop caring about the other parent because of what the visitation order says? I highly doubt it. And if the goal of parenting is to raise a human being that's, productive in society, that can stand on their own 2 feet, which I would hope is part of the goals, at least, of parenting, then the goal should be, how is it that I raise this productive child in light of whoever the other parent may be? Maybe they're great, maybe they're not. But it has to at least start with that, because what I see usually, you have two different parents, and one parent has this blueprint, right, for the way they want their child to be to grow up. And that blueprint is maybe the equivalent of some Beverly Hills mansion, you know, all the bells and whistles, super fancy in the city, you know, nice stuff. And then the other parent has a blueprint that's the equivalent of a farm ranch in Idaho. I don't know. And so they're coming at raising this child from completely different blueprints. I don't know if you've done this before, but if you build a house and you hire two different architects with two entirely different blueprints, I'm thinking your house is going to be a wreck. And so that's what a lot of times happens if you're coming at parenting from two different blueprints and then you're expecting this perfect child. And usually, you know, it's just the fight for the first 18 years. Hopefully this child lives to be what's the median age? 80, 90, 85, 75, somewhere in there. So, you know, they've got about 60 years to actually live life as an adult, and you're going to fight about the first 18 and who that child likes more. Well, when they get to their adult level or adult age, because the brain keeps maturing until about the mid-20s, and so they actually think about what's happened the last 18 years, and maybe you were their favorite parent, and then maybe they wake up and realize you were a real jerk. And so the next 60 years, they don't want to talk to you. So all I'm saying on this soapbox that I stand on today is if you're going in because you have a chip on your shoulder, you can't win. You can't break even, and you can't get out of the game.